This week on the PrecursorCast, Tess finds her passion for raiding, Militus finds his passion for drinking, and the PrecursorCast keeps being the coolest bunch of awesome people in the entire gaming universe. It is time to wind it up. This is episode 18 of the PrecursorCast.
Listening to the PrecursorCast with Tess, Militus, and Boom.
Well, we have easily one of the best shows that has ever happened to the podcasting world, all because it is the PrecursorCast episode 18, and we had some news. And this is a special edition. We're coming to you early because, well, we want to bring it to you. All of this wonderful news that we have, or I guess sad news, however you look at it, it doesn't matter. But before we do, we want to take one. Oh, doggone me. We want to take one. Oh, there. Nope. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna get it. Okay, we're gonna take one quick second for this.
Hola, you! It's your birthday. We're here to party and sing to you. He's from me. Hope you are bueno. The fun will rain the whole day through. From the Gulf to the mountains, the city lights and fountains. We hope your birthday's excellent. Aww. You are another year older, so perhaps you should
be generally awesome.
'Cause today is your day. Hola. You deserve a grand fiesta, and later on siesta, and the best of everything. Sí, señor.
There we go. It is Tess's birthday today, and so we wanted to just give her a little happy birthday love.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you.
I feel like music and MMOs transport you.
Mm-hmm.
Does it work for you guys?
Uh-huh.
I feel like I'm at a Mexican food restaurant, and the three of us are sipping on three very fat, salty, and really strong margaritas.
Really
We're
good
at
ones.
Casa Bonita.
Yeah, I agree. Casa Bonita. You have not experienced Casa Bonita. And I got to tell you, if you're not from Denver, you got to go experience Casa Bonita. It's truly, truly awesome.
An
I'm telling
experience.
You, we're talking like you need to go there. It is the experience.
Cliff divers.
No. It's all there, really. Well, we have, like I said, a great show. This is episode 18, and as chat just reminded us, number 18 retired today, Peyton Manning, wore number 18. He had 18 years in. He retired, and now we're doing show 18. Coincidence? I don't think so. Right?
No. Yeah. That is completely, we planned this.
Uh-huh.
We looked into the future, and we planned our start date.
And it's been really hard to have the 18th fall when he would finally make his announcement. But we were able to pull it off because of Tess's close connection to Peyton Manning. So that would be great. Well, let's go ahead and get into this. We've got a game to kind of kick everything off. So we're gonna start with this little game. But this week, I am not leading the game, I guess. So
no,
this week we've got Tess leading the game.
A bit of a change.
Yeah, it's my birthday. I get to lead the game.
Yeah, it's your rules. So, all right, Tess, take us away. What is the game? What are we doing?
Well, this month, March, is Music in Our Schools Month. I didn't know if you knew this. Very important.
Do you have a mariachi band at your school?
No.
Oh, dang it.
We have one at the middle school.
Oh, fantastic.
But, so I put together Tess's awesome music history quiz of awesome.
Ooh, all right.
Of awesome.
I'm ready.
Love it.
And, all right.
I know
here we go.
two things about music. You're going to love it. All right.
Okay. Number one. Question one. Boom gets to play. I'm so excited. Boom versus Milla. It's an epic showdown.
You may regret this choice because I feel already about I just want to jump in and just I don't want to ruin it, but I'm not going to.
Everything.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
Question number one.
Yes.
Which of the following is a medieval musical instrument? A wheel harp. B, a sackbut.
Yes, sackbut.
C, a sharpsichord. Or D, a log flute.
This is hard.
So
I want to say log flute.
First of all, I know it's not log flute.
Okay.
I appreciate the shout out there.
I
But
try.
All right.
Boom, I have no idea. I'm going to say the only thing that plausibly works for me would be wheel harp. That's
Yeah.
Boom?
I
What do you
thought
think?
wheel harp as well, but I'm gonna go with the sackbut.
The correct answer is the sackbut.
Yes.
That is
way to go,
Yes.
boom.
Yes.
A wheel harp
That's
is
what I'm talking
actually
about.
and a sharpsichord. They're both modern instruments that were just
Oh,
recently invented.
yes.
The sackbut looks like a medieval version of the trombone.
I
with a
was just
slide.
thinking about like what somebody in the medieval times would name something. And let's just face it, medieval times were not great times. So I don't think they're really going out of their way to name it something cool. So they're just like, what's this instrument you have made? It's wonderful. And the person's like, it's a sackbut.
Well, and I think this is kind of cool. A sharpsichord, and I looked this up. A sharpsichord is a solar powered music box.
Nice.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
That's
I thought that was cool.
fantastic.
Very cool.
All right, so boom is up.
Renewable music.
Yeah, boom
I'm
is
digging
up
it.
1-0. All right.
All right, I
Number
got to pick
two.
up a pace here.
Number 2. Which Greek god was considered the god of music? A, Hermes. B, Apollo. C, Dionysus. Or D, Toasticles.
Well, I've heard Toasticles sing in chat.
And it is beautiful. It's godlike nearly.
It is godlike. It probably sounds a little better underwater when he sings. You know, it's one of those mermaid things. They sound like screeches out of the water, but then when you dunk them, you know, it sounds beautiful. So I'm going to go with, since I have to answer this, I believe it is Dionysus.
Yeah, I do. I agree with Boom.
So
Seeds.
we're going with Dionysus.
Yes.
You are incorrect, gentlemen. The answer is B, Apollo. Dionysus. Dionysus
Really?
is the god of wine
thought
and
Apollo
party
was the
and
god of
hibbity
boxing.
jibbity.
Apollo is
Apollo
the
is the
Greek
god
of
of the
music.
sun and music.
Okay, I
thought he
knew
was-
so. I would
yeah.
have never guessed
No,
Apollo.
I would have never. I thought he was Apollo was the god of Rocky. That's all I could come up
No,
with.
because he dies. That would have to be someone else.
All right. Well,
Rest in peace, Apollo.
Did you say who Dionysus was?
He's the god of wine.
Wine.
That's why I
partying,
gravitate-
and
that's why-
the god of
It makes all sense
hibbity
now. That's
jibbity.
why I gravitated toward it. I totally get it now. When
The
you
So I'm
god
said
just
God of
down
Wine,
still by one. Good.
Yep, I
Okay.
would pick the God of Wine out every single time. I promise. Okay.
All right. So number 3, Johann Sebastian Bach is
Mm-hmm.
considered a composer of which era of music?
Mm.
A, Renaissance. B, Baroque. C, Classical. Or D, boring.
That's my favorite.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
So I guess
That's
I guess
nice.
it's my turn to
It
go
is your
first.
turn to go first, and it's D boring.
Man.
I just want angry letters later.
I'm gonna say classical. Probably wrong, but classical.
I want to say classical as well because I believe that's it, but I'm going to say Renaissance to be different. So that
it was
we,
between those
so
two
we do
for
it.
me,
Yes,
but I'm gonna
yes.
say classical.
You are both incorrect.
Wow, dang it!
You know what they say? If it's not Baroque, don't fix it.
That sounded like something you'd
So
hear
we have
on The Big Bang Theory.
sackbut and
I'm just
Baroque.
saying. Yes, sackbut and Baroque.
My questions are awesome.
Okay, these people need to learn how to name stuff.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
doubt. Like I'm having a hard time with that we missed that.
Okay, Tess, I'm not gonna let you get off easy with this.
Okay.
Tell me, what is the Baroque period of music or era? Sorry, of music.
The Baroque period is usually classified by fugal and contrapuntal writing. Usually
And those would be what?
harpsichord.
We're just gonna
Okay.
keep going. This is gonna be a whole dissertation here.
Yeah,
We
I
started
think
her
it's-
down a path.
time period, it's up to about 1650.
Okay.
Okay.
I can deal with that language.
There you go. Renaissance takes you through the Renaissance era.
Sure.
And then the Baroque era starts, and then the classical is after that.
I thought Renaissance was too contemporary for someone like Bach. I always thought he would predate that. You know what I mean? The Renaissance would have been too contemporary to put him in that.
Renaissance is earlier than Baroque. Renaissance,
Really?
Yeah, Renaissance is right after it. So it goes medieval, Renaissance, Baroque, classical, neoclassical, romantic.
That's great.
I would always put classical before Renaissance. Sorry.
Yeah. So no, that's okay. Classical is Mozart, Vivaldi, those types of people.
You are so much more informed now.
There you go.
No doubt.
You are going to go to a
let's
party.
get into some 20th century stuff.
I know, but he's going to go to a party now, and it's going to be all over for the party guests.
So this
But
is
he's
where
going to be
Tess
like,
gets really mad, Boom.
yeah.
Because this is when I tell her that for my humanities elective, I could choose between music appreciation or art history.
You took
or
art
theater,
history.
Or I took general humanities because
Oh,
I didn't want to
God.
get specific in any art. I'm like, just give me the easy humanities.
Oh, Lord.
I don't know. Art history is pretty great.
Art history is pretty great.
And art history.
And
is
actually,
great.
music appreciation, I didn't have to take music appreciation because of my major, but I knew people who did, and they said it was hella hard. There's a lot of listening and identifying and crazy stuff. So,
Yes,
but let's
Brittle Spear
leave
is making
the
note,
old
by the way.
stuff behind, guys.
Brittle
Let's
Spears
leave the
is-
old stuff behind.
I'm still down just by one.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on into 20th century
Before
stuff.
you do, I just want to say Brittle Spear is in chat, and he's making note of all of the big words you guys are saying. So we might have to make a list of all these things at the end. Yes, because I'm with you, Brittle Spear. I don't totally know what's going on. All right, go ahead. Next one. We're into the modern era. All right.
Yeah, number 4, a
Elvis
big
Presley.
band.
Oh, no,
I
big
engage in contrapuntal sex,
Oh, you
which
don't.
means
That's
both
gross.
agree. Sorry.
No.
band. Okay, well that's good.
Wow.
Sorry. Well, Brittle challenged me,
You're
so I
so
had to.
cute.
Sorry.
Okay, so a big band, jazz band. So a big band consists of how many musicians?
This sounds like a trick question because I would normally
I
just
have
pick the biggest
no-
number.
A, 27. B, 21. C, 17.
It's
Or
hard.
D, 13. How many
even-
musicians
who's-
are in a
who's-
big band, jazz band?
Whose
So
choice
think
is
like
to go
Glenn,
first?
think like Miles Davis. Think like those big bands.
You think there's like a lot of people there, but I don't think it's as many as you think.
Yeah, I feel like she's trying to sell us.
I think
down
so.
this road.
Yes, and so 27. You think of 27 people sitting up there, and I don't think it's 27. I am gonna go with C, 17.
I'm gonna go low ball even than that.
Yeah.
I'll go 13.
That was my next choice. My next choice, 13.
The answer is C, 17. 17
Oh.
people in a
Boom,
big
it's
band,
killing
jazz
me.
band. There
All
you
right,
go.
All right, there we go. I don't know if getting 2 out of 5 is killing anybody, but yeah.
We have 3 questions left, Mila,
All
so
right,
you can
all
still
right.
come back.
All right,
You
here
can
we
still
go.
do
Next
it.
I'm gonna try.
Okay.
I'm gonna try.
So one of my main gamer handles is called Tessitura. All right.
Okay.
That is a musical term, which means what? A, the averaged range for a voice or instrument in a piece of music. B, an elaborate musical composition, typically in 4 movements. C, a contrapuntal composition in which the phrase is introduced by one part and successively taken up by others. Or D, very, very loud.
I'm gonna go with contrapuntal sex position with 4 movements. Is that,
4 movements.
Did you say that was an option? Sorry. Sorry.
Four
Was that an option?
No!
8 movements. Okay, that's a bad. That wasn't very. Good.
Sorry. I swear I heard you say that, Tess.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm gonna go ahead and just roll because I truly believe this to be the answer. D, very, very loud.
You married B and C there, Milla.
I'm gonna stick with the sex position. I'm going with C.
All right,
C.
you're going to C.
Okay.
All right.
The
Oh,
answer, letter C, is actually the definition of fugue.
Okay.
D is actually
Also a
the
sex
definition.
position, just saying.
It's
Been in a few fugues myself.
Yeah, it is the definition of fortissimo. And the answer is A. The average range for a voice or instrument in a piece of music is that music's tessitura.
I actually secretly knew that it was A, but I went with D because I just know that you get into chat and you're very, very loud. And so
Yes, I
just
did.
thought that was the right
That's
list.
why I put it in there. I thought it was funny.
Yes. Okay. All right. I don't get credit for that, but that's just the way it is. All right.
All right, so it's still 2-0.
All right.
We have
Still
two more
2-0.
questions.
Two more
This is a
questions.
brain question, Milla.
Brain question.
Yes.
Everybody's playing along on
And I'll
in the
give
chat
you a
room.
hint if you need a hint.
Okay.
Okay.
We can
So-
always use hints.
Question C. Musicians are known to develop an enlarged section of the brain. This section, A,
Oh, this is a
is
Militus
most
question.
closely associated with the development and understanding of language. B, regulates the endocrine system and the release of hormones. C, bridges the left and right hemispheres of the brain. Or D, is conditioned to constantly seek out Zoldrup's mushroom fields.
And the worst part is that D could be right because every musician I've ever met.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Very
I don't
true.
know. That's crazy. Is it my turn to go first?
I'll leave this up to
I don't
Tess. What do you want to
Yeah,
do?
go ahead,
Is it
Boone.
my turn to go first? Oh man, here's the rough part about this because I'm going first because I know Militus is sitting there and he's just kind of he's drinking his beer all smug. He's kind of
No,
like,
actually,
he's like, I've got this
she's
one nailed.
somewhat. It is a tricky array of because two
Yeah,
are quite
yeah.
possibly both correct. But
yes,
go ahead.
yes, and I know nothing about the brain. I barely know that I have one.
I'll give you a
so,
hint.
I'm
Would you like
gonna
a hint?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
It'll probably help
The area
Militus
of the
more than me.
brain is called the corpus callosum.
Might help me. Let's say, I'm gonna say it
There
is
you go,
most
Noah.
closely associated with the development and understanding of language. I'm gonna go with A.
A. Okay.
Basically,
Noah?
That would be incorrect
Thank
because
you.
that would be the auditory cortex located in the temporal lobe,
That's
which
awesome.
is boom. Which is you're partially correct because this is why I think Tess was kind of throwing a trick question. The auditory cortex is heavily involved in things like pitch and the frontal cortex heavily involved in things like sequencing of music. But the corpus callosum is what binds the left and right hemispheres together. And I might add, it's thicker in women. Damn it. That's why
And Militus, they've done autopsies on musicians, and it is 4 times thicker in musicians.
I don't feel comfortable
4
with it.
times.
I don't feel comfortable with where this conversation is going.
Last question. So it's 2-1. Milla, you can bring it
4
back for the
times
tie. Last
thicker
All
question.
right.
in women.
All right.
I don't
Okay.
feel comfortable with that.
This is a super modern question.
Wow,
Which of
Spears
the-
is breaking it out in chat with all sorts of. This is good. Okay, I'm learning in chat as well. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tess. I'm
Yeah.
not very good at this, not leading the show stuff. By the way, I'm all over the place. I feel like
Are you
I've
not
got
liking
AD
it? You're not having
No,
fun?
I'm ADD and all over the place. Like I'm like, what? I should be doing something right. I got like sound effects push. I got alt, but I'm good. Let's go.
Okay, last question. Which of the following bands have not been inducted into the
So-
Rock
so
and
there's
Roll
more than
Hall
one.
of Fame?
More than
No,
one answer.
just one. There's
Just
just
one.
one.
There's just one of these guys.
There's one
Hasn't-
correct answer. Okay. A, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. B, Pearl Jam. C, Green Day. Or D, Nirvana. One of those bands has not been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
All right, so I guess I'll go first this time. Boom. I know Green Day has, and I thought that was weird. I'm sure Nirvana has. I mean, come on, they're Nirvana.
I would think. Well,
I'm gonna
remember
go.
actually
I
that,
think the Chili Peppers. I'm gonna go Pearl Jam. B.
I'm on the fence as well because that's what I'm kind of thinking. Like I look at the entire body of work, and Pearl Jam had kind of a very limited body of work, in my opinion, that was any good. You know, whereas Red Hot Chili Peppers bring it time and time, and Green Day's got 75 albums out. Like they put an album out like every 30 days or so.
They do.
So I'm gonna go ahead, and I have to agree. I have to go with B as well. I know it's not going to break any kind of tie-up or anything like that, but I got to go with B as well.
The correct answer is B, Pearl Jam.
Yes.
That was really
Yes.
interesting, by the way. Ozzy Osbourne turned it down.
Oh,
Did you know that?
No, that
I
would've
didn't
been-
know that. I
you
knew he
put him
pissed on
there
the
and I
Alamo,
would've-
but I didn't know he
yeah.
turned down the
Yeah.
vibe.
Willie Nelson's not in there. John Coltrane.
Wow.
The Monkees. Like, all of these people, I was really
Hey,
interested.
with monkeys.
Yeah.
They're coming back. Did you know
Oh,
that?
I
They're going to do a
love
reunion tour, the Monkees.
Oh, really?
Yes, they
Did-
are. They're coming back.
Okay, hold on. Can we play a quick game? Because I played this on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, fill in the blank. Boom, you first, and then Tess.
Okay. Okay.
The first concert you ever attended was who, when, and where?
I don't want to say
Boom.
mine. It's
Boom.
embarrassing.
It was.
I'm gonna say mine.
So, who, when, and where?
Yeah,
Okay,
who,
it
when, and
was-
where? First concert ever.
It was Tesla, the band, which is funny because I'm wearing Tesla's shirt right now. I don't
Nice.
know if you can see that. Tesla was right.
Mhm.
So I saw Tesla the band at Red Rocks, and it was awesome.
In what year?
I don't even remember. 89 or 90.
Milla, you go.
Dallas, Texas. Metallica.
Ugh.
Nice.
Fade to Black tour.
Mhm.
January 1992.
Nice. Mine is
18 years old.
embarrassing. Can I say my first and my second one?
So Tessa's first was George Michael.
No, my first one was Jars of Clay
Oh, yeah.
because I was visiting a friend in Ohio. Jars of Clay is a Christian rock band.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
And she got us tickets and took me in 1997.
Fantastic.
My-
Striper.
my-
Striper.
I did
my
go to a Striper
second-
concert, by the way.
My
I did do
second
that.
one, my husband took me to in 1998
Ooh,
or 99.
nice.
And it was and now I'm running boom, you know, it's the band with the guy that wears the hat that's like this.
Motorhead?
It's a cowboy hat. It's a
Yeah,
cowboy
Motorhead.
hat. No, it's
Yeah.
not Motorhead.
That's who wore it. It's Lemmy.
No, that's not right.
Oh, well, that's who wears that hat. Sings Ace
It's
of Spades.
not-
That you guys
Oh,
always
maybe
thought was
it's-
Ace of Base.
Maybe it was Motorhead.
Remember
No,
when
it
I
wasn't
said that, I
Motorhead,
was like,
swear to God.
We were. This is a funny
Oh,
story.
God.
Yeah, this is a funny story. I'm like, I
Yeah.
was getting ready, and we're like, the new expansion for WoW is gonna come out, and I'm all excited, and I'm in chat, and I'm like so excited, I'm so pumped. I've got Ace of Spades, and I've got it queued up, and I'm gonna crank it right when the thing releases. I'm gonna go bust in and start doing all this stuff. I had like a playlist ready to go, and Tess is like, "You're listening to Ace of Base." And so then
I
the
heard
joke
Ace
was,
of Base.
yeah. So then the joke was always like, I would, you know how you can play music back into chat. I would play it, and it was just like, I saw the signs, and I would just play that like while I'm talking. Every time I'd hit my push to talk, you could hear Ace of Base going in the back. It was.
He'd be
it was
like,
quite
"Okay,
funny.
Raid, are you guys pumped? Here we
Nice.
go."
Yeah.
I saw the sign.
Did you see? I know it was so great. I was like, let's kill him. Did you see Brittle Spear went to U2 Under a Blood Red Sky in 1984
Yeah, that's
at Red Rocks?
Oh, that's sick.
That one was like, I went to
Now-
damn Yankees.
In my
that.
adult life, I have not missed a Tool concert in the state of Colorado since 1999. So there we go.
God, I haven't been to a concert in forever.
I go to concerts whenever I can.
My favorite
That's awesome.
concert, though, was when Boom took me to Green Day.
That was fun.
It
Nice.
was an awesome concert.
Well, everybody, we have wrapped up the musical section. I hope you had a lot of fun.
Thank
and got
you,
to play
Tess.
along. That was
There you
really,
go. I
learned a
that
lot.
was
I learned
really,
a
really
lot.
great. There was a
So
lot of
go
good
and
information
support
there.
a music education program in your community sometime this month. Try to go to a concert or
Yeah.
send them a $5 donation or something.
Ooh, money.
Support arts in
Mhm.
our schools.
I've decided for my local school, I'm picking up MMA fighting. I'm going to try to earn money for my music program
are.
that way.
All right. All right.
Oh, God.
I think that's.
And I'm going to barf all over the first guy that I fight. Bro, just That's
Oh,
my
my
favorite.
God.
That's the most abrupt scene in any movie, comedy I've ever seen.
Well,
I literally, my wife told me to shut up laughing in the theater. I was spewing coke out all over people in front of us. It was classic.
Oh,
Sorry.
God.
well,
Sorry
that's-
for the detour.
Well, we've got a lot of people now that are going to be interested in picking Tessa's brain, her frontal lobe cortex, whatever it is.
My
medulla
brain is super
oblongata.
sexy, you guys. Just saying, right there.
They're gonna try to pick your brain about music trivia, and I guess Militus tonight is gonna tell us how they might do that. So Militus, how might they do that?
Me.
This whole show has just got no flow to it. I'm just gonna say, okay, go ahead.
You can contact us at our website, PrecursorCast.com. You can also tweet at us at PrecursorCast. You can email us on a cold night while you're listening to Tesla at precursorpodcast@gmail.com. You want to watch us live, typically on Wednesday nights. You can find us at www.t.com/pre.
Now we're losing.
Hold on, Mila. Hold on.
You can also contact us at Facebook at facebook.com/Precursor Podcast, or you can call us at
702-625-1337.
Tess.
That spells leet.
Oh,
There we go.
That was your job, Tess. That was your whole job. I never do that. I never do the whole leet
I felt like I was
thing.
in Howling Ford. Or
Yeah, wasn't that good?
Ice
Wasn't that good?
Crown Sailors.
Yeah. That's the whole thing. It's fun to watch you guys try to get through that when I'm being distracting and all that. It was good. That was good. All right, well, everybody, we have some exciting stuff coming up. We want to get through our Moments of Zen pretty quickly because, to be honest, we have a bunch of big news in the world of Guild Wars 2 that we want to talk about. We want to dive into some things that happened, especially over Reddit this weekend. I guess it was. Let's go ahead and get into our moments of Zen. Tess, how about you? What is your moment of Zen?
Well, we rated this week, and I had a great time. But I just want to ask for some advice from our listeners. So, as usual, I just felt that I was sucking it up with my tanking, just not up to scratch. So, what should I do? Because I'm a guardian. We don't have a lot of vitality. We're not the best tanks. What should I do? Do I redo my ascended equipment to add vitality at the cost of a little bit of toughness and a chunk of precision? Do I just completely redo all of my stuff to Berserker and just not try this anymore? What should I do? Somebody please text me. Let me know what to do. Once I added Aegis, you say, is it Aegis or Aegis?
I have an answer, though.
What do I do?
You need to tank casual.
Oh, I need to not care?
No, you got to tank casual.
I don't know what that means.
It's kind of like flying casual. You got to just tank. You got to tank casual, and that'll get you there. Saying.
Yeah, I just kind of suck. Yeah. So anyway, do I give up the ghost? Do I just somebody send me some mail? Let me know what I should do. But my
actually
real
pretty
Zen
good.
moment,
You didn't do that bad, Tess. You didn't.
No.
It was just fine. You tank fast. You're a speed tanker.
Yeah.
Like I can't catch you. You keep the guy moving pretty quickly. But that wasn't really the problem in the end. It was just dips. But if I could sit him, right? If you could sit him a little bit longer,
then
I
our
think we'd have a
dips
little
would
bit
go
better.
up.
Yeah,
But
it would definitely go up.
my real Zen moment was after the raid. We ran some fractals. We spanked the fractals. And in one fractal, I actually managed to avoid a wipe. I got people up. I was the last person standing. I looked around. I was like, oh, crap. I'm the only person alive. Res. And so that made me feel better about myself.
Yeah, especially when you're doing some hot fractal action like that.
That was awesome. So that was my moment of...
Hirosato says you should tank commando.
Mm-hmm.
Which I didn't even think about being an option, but that is not a bad choice. I'm feeling that. Well, that was a really good moment of Zen, even though it was more of just a question to the general populace about what you should do with tanking. You'll get 1,000 answers, by the way.
That's
I
great.
expect it to be
Give
I
it
fixed.
think
to
if
me.
you just tank
Next
with
time.
mini Lord Fair next to you,
I
you're
did.
fine.
Yes.
I did.
Mhm.
What I was like, I'm gonna pull out Mini Lord Farron just for some luck, which you would know, Milla, if you were there.
I was
good.
out of town.
I know you're out of town. I know.
I
you're
was
out of town.
watching my nephew's basketball game.
I'm sorry. I'm just giving you crap, Puddin'. You know I love you.
Oh, I wish I could have been there. It would have been a lot of fun.
Well, all things said, then we end up with, Militus's moment of zen, which is nothing.
Sorry, we're recording
I'm not
early,
even giving you.
and
I'm not
I
even
just
giving you the
between
sound
work and
effect
stuff.
because it's just a
My
I got-
moment of zen is being here tonight with you two.
Oh, that
Oh,
deserves a.
Milla.
That's
You
my
make
moment.
you make my birthday the best
There you
birthday
go.
ever.
That deserved a little moment of zen.
There we
Sound
go.
effect.
What about you, Boo?
All right, my moment of zen this week was that Tess invited me to raid, and initially I was like, nah, I don't want to raid.
It was a Saturday. It was a totally weird day.
Yeah. And so then I did. I went on, and everybody's like, "Come, raid! You're the 10th guy." They had 9. Like everything fell into line, and I was like, this is gonna be stupid. I'm gonna just go in and beat my head against the boss." And we actually almost downed the first boss.
Nice.
Like, when we attacked him and we did well, and Tess actually did tank good, even though she says she didn't. She did, and we got him down, and he split. And when he split, we had the one guy's health bar all the way gone, another one almost all the way gone, and we just had a couple little mostly because we didn't get that far ever before, so it was kind of like
We were like, "Holy
what
crap!"
do we do now? What? And I think we would have made it to the next stage where we would have had to, do it, but we were
all over
starting
again.
to get through it. Like, I really think we made progress, so it was actually kind of fun. So we ran that like 5 times or something, nothing too serious, and it was great. And then I just went and did story. I just went back. I'm trying to get through all the story and stuff like that.
And that's my favorite
yeah.
thing about Guild Wars raiding. It does not feel like a grind fest. And part because you can immediately repair for free, and part
Right.
because it's not a far run back. So, how long would you say, Boom? Our 5 or 6 attempts took what? An hour and a half, maybe 2 hours?
It wasn't very long. It wasn't very long at
No.
all, actually. And the whole time you felt like you were fighting. So it was like you were never bored ever. And it went really well. And then I was just making gold. So the whole rest of the time, my goal is to get the pervious mini in all of the galaxy. I'm trying to get the beautiful Kashmir Beach Babe. And so that's like my other thing. So I got 60 gold towards Kashmir.
Well, now what did you do to make that gold?
I ran the boss train, and I got a sword that dropped that was worth about half of that, about 30 gold of it. So I was pretty excited.
Nice.
It was good.
That was
fun.
great. That moments, you guys.
Those were good. And it's pretty good on a short week and all of that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to skip through a lot of the other stuff, and I want to move right on into the news. And I wanted to move into the news because we had some stuff happen, and I wanted to kick off the news with this.
So long, farewell, I'll be there saying goodnight. I hate to go and leave this pretty sight.
That's right. That's right, the big cheese, Colin.
What is that from?
So long,
Militus?
farewell, I'll be there saying adieu.
Adieu to you and you.
A musical?
And you.
What musical?
A very famous one.
Think of a woman on top of a mountain spinning in circles
Oh, I'll be there saying
I'd like
with
Really?
Nazis.
stay and taste my first champagne.
yes.
In a blue dress?
In a nun's habit.
Huh?
In a nun's habit.
So long, farewell.
It's Sound of Music. Get yourself cultured, you asshole.
Anyway,
I said a blue dress. You wouldn't confirm that. She's in a blue dress when she's on top of the mountain,
She's
yes?
in a nun's habit.
well,
I thought she was like in a blue dress.
Oh.
I could be wrong.
at any rate,
Oh.
Colin,
Yes.
the fearless leader for I don't even know how long. I should have looked that up for a long time of Guild Wars 1 and 2. has left.
The mountains are blue. Sorry, Tess.
Boy,
That's
was
okay,
quite,
Mila.
that
I
was
love
quite
you.
the robotic voice. Colin left, and he's leaving due to a new opportunity that will allow him to see his family more and support his wife on a project. And it's also, and they put in the notes, also less commune for him, but I'm guessing that's commute or less commune. I don't know what that one was.
Commute.
Yeah, I would assume. I would figure, he's just gonna commune less. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's tired of communing. There you go. Well, there you have it. So he decides I'm not in anymore. Reddit obviously blows up, but what it gave us was this really cool developer summary. So the developer comes on and speaks and says, and it was O'Brien. Is that right? Is the guy that came on? Anyway, he comes on and he gives us a big, long, whole thing of great information about what's going to happen with the game. Like, really good information, like solid information. So I thought we would actually go through this little developer notes. And I don't read the notes. I don't want to go through and just read the notes. You can read the notes if you want to. But I wanted to pick out some of the things that I thought were important, and we can kind of
at least identify the sections for our listeners.
Yes,
like
I will.
The major sections.
All right. And your mic is like crazy.
Yeah, you're like Robo Milla.
It's like Robo Milla. It's like you're out of batteries. It's like Militus ran out of batteries. That's okay. Anyway, so they divided it into sections of schedule, hot maps, items, story, living world, dungeons and fractals, then raiding, world versus world, PvP, and class balancing. And then they did like a whole section on technical features, and then one they called fluff. So there's a whole bunch of sections to get through. We could spend days and days going through it. But I wanted to talk about a couple of the important things. First one I wanted to hit on was under the schedule. They talked about Raid Wing 3 coming out in May or June. So they've, you can tell there's definitely a team that's just working on putting these Raid Wings out, because we just got one Tuesday that is already up and I haven't seen. So we haven't finished the first boss of the first raid. We've already got the second tier, and then we're going to get the third tier here soon. So that's going to be exciting. The next thing I thought was interesting was they have 120 devs working on the game, which actually I didn't even know that. Were you guys aware how many people?
That's a huge number.
That's a pretty good team. Yeah, I don't know how many you normally have on a game, but 120 seemed pretty fair to me.
I think Lost are at 300.
300 when they were launching, right? Though it wasn't when they were in maintenance mode. It was
right at the end of their right at the end of their development cycle before the game launched.
Yeah, so that's giving you they're putting 70 of those 120 devs though on the expansion. So that's a huge chunk. That means there's only 50 devs that are actually working on the core game. So that's kind of crazy. A little different than I expected.
My favorite item from this, and I don't know how you wanted to split this up, Boom. Do you want to just attack our favorite stuff? Or do you want to do a linear thing?
We're just going to go down and talk about the points. I have that other sheet if you want to look at it, and I'm just kind of highlighting stuff as I go. But
there are important points I think we need to make in every major section.
There are in every major section.
So my favorite in the hot maps, my favorite statement was...
We're doing schedule.
Oh, we're doing schedule. I'm sorry.
We're still schedule.
I'm sorry. I won't jump ahead.
The big thing about that though is that they're not going to do the 2-week release cycle that they were doing with some of the story content in the old days, because what they've done, you can tell they've shifted a huge team to that expansion stuff, and then the rest of them are working on
raids.
Core and raids. So they've got all these different teams kind of doing stuff with the current content to give us anything new. But you can tell they're really geared up. They must have a great idea for this next one, because it feels like they're already ramping up and getting ready to go. So there you go. The other thing I noticed in schedule was they'll ship things when they're done and polished. That seems like a Blizzard motto that they're kind of adopting. So is that going to cause delayed content? Like whenever anybody says that, like Blizzard takes 2 years to do an expansion now.
Well, but something to keep in mind is that Guild Wars traditionally does smaller content drops over a long period of time rather than a large content drop like once every. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm okay with them being on a polish and deliver schedule because their delivery schedule is much quicker. I don't have to worry about waiting for 3 years before I get new content. You know what I mean?
Well, and this was a big point. They made like 3 specific points about this 2-week thing because I think they're trying to get everybody understanding it's not going to be every 2 weeks. So I think they made that point like over and over again. It's not going to happen every 2 weeks. So just don't even think about it. It's just not going to happen. But then the last thing in that section I wanted to note was new elite specializations are part of expansion packs.
Really?
So
that's interesting.
Elite specializations. We're not going to, what I took from it is we're not seeing elite specializations as part of this expansion. Is that how you guys read it? We're only seeing it as part of the expansion pack? Or are we seeing new elite specializations when they do like a content drop, like the quarterly content drop?
No.
No,
see
I
it to the
think
next expansion.
Yeah, but that's still exciting because, like I said, Dragon Hunter for my Guardian is cool and I like it, but I feel pigeonholed.
Yeah.
Like it'd be really cool if I had 2 elite specializations to pick between. That'd be really cool. It would open up your play style and things like that. So I think that's an interesting addition. So the next time we get an expansion pack, even if it's not for another year to 18 months, which I think is kind of the timetable they're working off. Boom. Is that right?
I would hope
when it's ready.
I would. They don't really give us a date, but when it's ready, I would hope. I don't think MMOs can live in a world right now where they don't release a yearly content drop, like a big one. 2 years is just too long, and I think they've all kind of learned we've got to really like pump up the jam with these. So I think that's kind of the thing. We drop the 2 weeks. We do some quarterly stuff that just kind of keeps everything flowing. They're minor, probably pretty much, and then we drop a big one every year. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen, but I could be totally wrong. Now we move on to hot maps, though. We're moving to hot maps, and this is where you were ready to go.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm really excited. So let me read this.
Tell us about it. Yes, go for it.
With hot, I'm sorry, let me try that again. Yes. With hot, we leaned more heavily on the organized content, unfortunately at the cost of a more casual experience. This is something we plan on making adjustments to and are taking into account as we develop maps in the future, which I think has been all of our concern.
Yeah, big time.
That it was way more organized content than I can't go by myself.
Yeah.
Well, as Boone put it brilliantly, it's basically a big raid.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's maps that are raid maps, basically. So
I like what they said here because they're acknowledging it. So and they're saying players should not take part in multiple hour-long Zergs. And I was like, there you go. That's a raid. It's Zerg and raid in this particular case, I think are interchangeable. And they're saying that multiple hour-long thing where you're going around and you even have to schedule it out, that was kind of a mistake. At least that's how I'm reading these notes. Is they're thinking we've got to figure out a way to make HOTS accessible to casual players. And I think it goes back to that little kind of quiz I threw out to a couple of the chat rooms that we belong to in the Facebook posts and things, where I was like, how many of you have played HOTS in the last month? And it was like 75% of the people said, I haven't played HOTS since I bought it. It's like I played it for a little while and I've not been in it. So yeah, I think this is stuff that they obviously are seeing. So that's really, really good news potentially for us. I think that's really good information. I'm hoping. Keep your fingers crossed. It doesn't mean hearts yet, but maybe. I don't know.
Maybe the next expansion. We'll see. I don't, like I said in the last cast, I don't think it's going to happen.
You don't think it'll happen in a drop? You think we'll have to wait for an expansion for that? I don't know.
Don't think this it wasn't designed for that test. It's like trying to stick a square peg in a round hole. It's just not going to work.
I know, but they even say it's not our intention to kick players off a map with progression to one with no progression, and we're working on ways to fix it. Which was my big thing, is that even if you get into a map that might be having progression, people are taxiing to other ones that you can't. If they can fix that, I think that being able to solo it, finding groups, is much easier.
They've got to work on the scaling, and they're going to have to kind of nerf it when there's just one player in an area.
Right.
And then they can
the scaling's got to be better.
Yeah.
The scaling, I think they can adjust it a little bit with the scaling. Because to be honest, I would run through all those zones, explore them, and play them if the Dickosaurus didn't run my ass over every 5 feet. And it feels like it's almost claustrophobic. The game feels tiny
it really is. It really is.
Go anywhere without like attacking everybody, and it's almost like you do have to have that Zerg mentality. Well, if they could make it to where you felt like I'm not going to die as I walk through the zones, like you wouldn't in Corteria. I don't think any of us is like super worried about dying in Corteria at this point.
Well, I mean, the congestion of mobs in some of the upper levels are difficult, but not overwhelming like they are in HOTS.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the other point in this section, I wanted to touch base because I didn't even know about this feature. This could be my moment of noob since I don't have one this week. But the availability of adventures. So adventures are going to be a new feature in Heart of Thorns, which I don't think I've really done an adventure. Have you guys done adventures?
No.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, so each adventure is like a performance-based, repeatable task that takes place in the world. And I've never done any of these, so maybe some of our people in chat have done some adventures. I have not done any adventures, but I think they're going to do more with this. This is kind of fun. I think it would be kind of cool. There's leaderboards. There's like a bronze, silver, and gold tier kind of performance level. I think that could be kind of fun.
Yeah. I know what those are.
Yeah. So they're going to do more with that. So you're going to see more different ones. There's a list of adventures right now that's pretty long. So there's a lot of these adventures. But this is one of the things that it kind of brings up a point. I didn't even know about adventures until I read this little clip. And I was like, this is a whole feature in the game that they did a lot of work on. There's a ton of adventures, and I didn't even know about them. And I don't know why I didn't know about them. I'm sure it's my fault, but that's kind of weird that I didn't know about. What else do I not know about in HOTS? There's got to be some cool stuff.
There are some flying mini games. There are some mushroom bouncing mini games. I've run into a few. I haven't done many, but I think that's what they're talking about. These little mini games that they have. And in fact, one or two of them are linked to you getting your legendary elite specialization weapon.
Right. Meldia Star in chat said one of the problems is there's a lot of them locked based on the stage of the meta.
Oh, so that's true.
Again, you can't just casually stroll into
IEC or Basin.
Right. There you go.
I mean, that whole zone is like that.
Or even in Verdant Brink, because a lot of those areas you have to get to the canopy level, and you can only get to the canopy level once you've reached that level of the meta where the helicopters come down.
Yeah, true.
So yeah.
Well, and then they mentioned one last thing. I know I said the last thing was the one last thing, but I was wrong. They said they've overlooked daily achievements in those zones, so they're gonna do daily achievements in HOTS. And again, I mean, if you think about it, why would you do daily achievements in HOTS? It's to get people into HOTS, which my prediction is there's not a lot of people in HOTS, and so they gotta work on that and get it to be played. You never want to put a product out that nobody uses. It's just
is there even a world boss in the loop in HOTS? I don't think so.
Well, I mean.
Yeah,
I feel like the meta,
but not
meta thing goes to the world.
Not on the train. There's not one on the train.
No.
I get on the train. I never experience it.
You have to when the meta starts, you have to follow it all the way through, and then that boss is at the end. So you can't just go fight that boss. Well, you can technically. It's just kind of hard. Like I know at least in the first zone I do, because I don't know. I feel comfortable in the first zone of HOTS a little more than I do the others.
I feel way more comfortable with Verdant Brink than I do Orc Basin or the rest.
Yeah. The rest of it's kind of like, whoa, okay, not my thing. So yeah. So there you go. Let's move on to items. So this is the one that I highlighted specifically for Militus because I think this is pretty great. Things like skimpy mail armors are being discussed.
Yes.
Lord
Farron armor.
Yeah, well, I want the one. Have you seen the new instead of a thong for men, it's a single piece. It's the only way I can describe it. And it just has one, it's just like a clamp. It just like it goes around one side, it goes around one thing, and there's nothing else. It's not even a thing. It's just like a thing here, and it just goes around the back, and it like pinches and holds on. And I thought that would be where they should start, is with that. I think it would be great. I should try to find a picture of it and post it for you. But it's just a single.
I was hoping for just like
that.
a banana sleeve or something.
No, it's even.
Yeah, Brittle put it perfectly. An ascended cod piece. That's what we need. An ascended cod piece.
But it's just this thing, and it just holds, and it just kind of, but it's just one piece. So there you go. It's not even. It doesn't even cover anything. I'm guessing it doesn't.
Honestly,
even cover
though, I know you said this is for me, and I'm laughing about it.
Yes.
But I know Tess has brought this up before, and we talked about the game on a serious note.
On a serious note, yes.
This is this is long overdue in video gaming in general.
Yeah.
Because if you want to counter the hypersexualization in your game, just equally distribute your sexualization. And I mean, so have males running around in little ascended thongs and fighting mobs, and we can all laugh about how ridiculous that is, as much as a female wearing a skimpy bikini fighting a mob.
And when they design this stuff, though, they got to call me, because I have some great ideas about how this could be done. They've got ArenaNet. I'm offering my services. Bring me in. I will draw some amazing skimpy male armor. Right? I've got it. I know what it is.
As long as you don't.
I might even model it. I might model it.
Okay. No.
I have no fear of that. I just think it would be kind of fun. All right. You know, yeah. Heck, we could even do a pixel brief like we talked about. We could just blur it out, and just everywhere you go, it'd just be fuzzy. It'd be like the cameras.
But can you blur one single pixel?
That's one of our questions. That is a good question. We can throw that up to chat. We've had a discussion. Can you blur a pixel? We don't know if you can blur one single pixel. We think it might take at least, like 8 pixels to blur, but there you go. So it looks like they're bringing back some other armor. I
have one question for both of you guys about this.
Yes.
So what do you think about the legendary armor remaining in the raid?
I'm okay. I'm okay with it.
I am...
because a lot of people are complaining about it. That's the only reason I bring it up.
Well, I'm okay with there being something specific that is for the people that tackle that raid, and I'm okay with that. Like, they should get a reward.
Yeah. I think if they do that, though, they do need to make another set of gear for the people that didn't do the raid that you can get as well. Like, because you can't just be like, hey, here's the legendaries we had from 3 years ago. That's the only legendaries. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, and the only new legendaries are in the raid. I don't know. I have a hard time with it, because it does feel like raids almost feel like a gate to the reward, which is cool, except when it's the best thing in the game. I don't know. I have a weird. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't even know if I have an opinion totally.
Imagine if you're on the other side of the aisle, though, Boom. Imagine if you were a hardcore raider and did work super hard, and there was zero thing that you got that was special. There's got to be something special for the raiders.
Right. But, yeah, I see that.
And I'm okay with not getting it until
I also don't mind if there's another way to get that special thing. Like, I don't mind if there's a different way to get the special thing. I don't care if everybody has what I have. I really don't. That doesn't bother me. I don't feel like I need to be like, hey, I've got the thing you don't have. That's never been my thing.
But if you strip the exclusivity of the armor, people won't raid. Because, I mean, they do it for a reason. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's fun to raid on occasion. But to beat your face against bosses all night long, you need to have a carrot. I mean, there's got to be something to reward you. So when I read it, I was like, I'm okay with that, because I thought there needs to be some sense of exclusivity for people who raid. There just has to be, or they won't raid.
Here's the thing, like a glider skin. I mean, I'm just saying, like, there's other things that you could.
As long as you make it exclusive for.
But here's the deal. Keep this in mind. The legendary skins don't have better stats than the ascended skins.
It's true.
They just have a cooler look. So it really is just a cool skin that they're getting.
But then I go back to my other content. The only new stuff is through the raid. So the other people, if you don't raid, you never have a chance of getting any other new skin. I have no problem with the raid skin being separate.
You can get new legendary weapons.
when they
when
they
they
release
craft them. And there is a crafting thing to be released later where you can craft those legendary armors with mastery stuff. So
it's like I said, as long as there's stuff for the other people. That's what my point is. Is like I could care less if you get the only flying mount in the game from raiding and it's exclusive, as long as the other people get something that they get to work for that's kind of cool as well. You know, for people that don't want to raid, because there's just people that don't want to raid. You know, I think everybody that finishes and completes the raid should get Boom's special Speedo. I'm gonna design it. It's gonna be a raid specific Speedo. And it's gonna do that, you know, the thing when in commercials when they smile and the tooth goes bing every time you turn around, it'll just right there in the Speedo bing, and it'll just kind of shine and glisten. It'll be amazing. I've got lots.
I think it should do that. I think it should shimmy like shimmy. When they turn, it should go shimmy.
Junk physics?
Yeah,
let's talk about junk physics. Because you guys have talked on other podcasts about boob physics. Yeah. So I want to talk about junk physics.
I agree. Junk physics.
You want it going side to side or up and down? What's better?
Now, the fun part is if you're going...
you can windmill it if you turn in a certain way.
There's going to be certain times where...
There's got to be a windmill animation.
Yeah, you just type slash windmill.
Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
Oh, God.
It goes around. Yeah.
Oh, God. That would be so epic.
Yeah,
we're all going to hell.
I think that would be fun, actually. I would laugh and laugh and laugh. Talk about bringing something exciting into the game. I think we might have taken their whole idea of skimpy male armor and took it too far, but I like it. As long as the junk moves, we're all in agreement, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as it moves. It's got to have junk. It moves in real life. You got to just... The idea is to make this more like real life, right? Unless they do my special outfit, which happens to hug and cradle and minimizes movement and chafing. There you go.
Good to know.
We've also got what's hot in Maguma, you know? And there's no baby powder buff. And you're gonna need that stuff when you're dealing with this. Like I'm serious. So they also mentioned that building armor sets is freaking hard. So that's why they don't do it a lot. So it's one of the most time-consuming things they do for Guild Wars 2 is making armor sets, which is interesting because it's also one of the most important things. But you know the problem is that they have all these different character types, which is why a lot of these MMOs, you always wonder, like, well, where's our new class or our new group of, you know, species or our new this or our new that, and they never bring one. It's because any change other than, you know, any size change to that, and it's like they have to redo so much from the old game as well to make it work with the new game that it's got to be daunting to actually do it. So that's why you don't typically see a lot of new things like that put into the game. But you can imagine, I mean, like the char must just screw everything up.
Mm-hmm. And the Azura.
Yeah.
Go from the char to the Azura.
It's not even really just like making them big or small. It's like crazy. So.
Well, you have to do entirely new model outfits would be my guess. When they say this, when ArenaNet makes this claim, sometimes when developers make claims, I'm like,
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Yeah. But when ArenaNet makes a statement, I'm like, yeah, that's a legitimate argument because if you look at the way they change outfits for, I don't know, male versus female, and then they change it for every race, I mean, it's really in depth, their design of those outfits. So I totally give them credibility to that argument that, it is a lot of work for them. Other MMO companies, not so much, but for them, a lot of work.
And I get it, by the way, I do get it. And I get it with all the games that it's work, but you know, that's what all the gamers are paying for. So I don't always let them off the hook just because somebody says, well, that's a lot of work. I'm like, well, yeah, but you make a game and that's what we like to have. We like to get armor. That's what we do. That's our thing. So it's, part of me is like, put Mini Cashmere on the cash shop. Let's sell, make some revenue, right? Boom will make some outfits that will sell like hotcakes. I've got one called the Peeker in mind. It's gonna be good. Make some of this stuff.
Oh my god!
Make some of this stuff. No. and then make some cash and then put another 50 people on making more stuff. I'm just saying, that's just, I don't always let them off the hook. I'm like you with that. But yes, they talk about all the armor and all of that stuff and kind of why it's there, and they're going to be finishing all of it. They're going to be bringing out the legendary stuff. They're going to be getting all that stuff done. So no real significant news there. Story Living World. So did you guys have anything you wanted to
or
pick
Living
up
World
on there?
Story?
Or Living World Story. Mine says story/Living World.
Speaking of peakers, we have all peaked at the end of Living World season 2.
Yes.
Or at least most of us have.
I haven't.
And so they're not going to bring that back into the July update. It's now March, guys. Just throwing that out there. I'm trying to be positive, but I'm like,
well, it ties into that
man,
whole thing.
that's a
We're taking
long
longer time.
time.
But this is what happens when you start saying quality. I'm not going to release until it's done. Then you either need to increase your team and make it bigger and get it done faster.
I'm biting my tongue, Boom. I'm biting my tongue.
It takes forever to come out because we see it in WoW all the time. They never release it.
Or you devote part of your resources to developing raids instead.
It's true. Well, and there is some.
That's just a reality of it. I'm not bitching about that. I'm just saying that's the reality of the situation.
There's a reality. There's not a huge team on raids, but I agree.
That does take resources, but I just think that's. Listen, HOTS launched in October.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long time. What do you think, Tess? Is that not a long time in your mind?
Well,
July.
Yeah, that's 9 months about.
I feel like it's felt, with all the holiday stuff and with all the different things that have kind of come out and with everything, I've never felt super starved. Aside from the HOTS not being what I really wanted to actually go play. Like if HOTS was the thing I wanted to go play and explore and do all that stuff, I don't think I'd be even thinking about it at all. But yeah, I can see your point. It's been a while.
Here's why I think it's magnified from my perspective. So I played Guild Wars 2 at launch for about 3 months. And I can't remember the Living World season cadence, but it was fast, Boom. Like it was 2 weeks
it was
or less.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was so fast, I quit. It was so fast, I'm like, I can't keep up, and I'm out. And now, so I come back to the game, right? And so I don't anticipate 2 weeks, but I anticipate a cadence that's not 9 months.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I get through Living World. I buy it. I buy Living World Season 2 because I wanted to consume the story. I go through it. I'm waiting after HOTS. I'm waiting for Living World Season 3. And I'm waiting. And now we're in 2016. And apparently I'm going to be waiting a lot longer. And I don't know. It just concerns me a little bit because for all the reasons we talked about, that's just a very long time for me personally.
Right,
that's all.
Right. It is different. And I think, though, like I said, if the zones were a little different in HOTS and you were doing some of that stuff and you were still actively involved in kind of that stuff that was going on more, it probably wouldn't seem all that bad. And I want to just say this. We all played a World of Warcraft expansion that 2.5 months in, just done. Like it was
took a dump. Yeah.
It was just like, wow, we're 9 months and I don't feel that. I don't feel World of Warcrafty at all. Mind you, I'm newer to the game, so I have a lot of other things kind of occupying my time. If I've been playing the game for 3 years, I think I might feel a little different for sure. But if they get this out, I'm guessing they're hoping this content kind of carries everybody for a little while longer. And I don't know, I'm thinking March-ish of next year, maybe an expansion. I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking.
Maybe.
I'm thinking they're
that would be
away.
Still quick. That would be 18 months. Yeah. That's faster than Warcraft.
Somebody's got to get this year thing down. They've got to figure out a way. I don't know. They're going to have to automate it. They're going to have to call some people from Google to come up with an algorithm that does it. Something's got to give here. Something has to happen. Because we're content hogs. That's what we want. It's just the way it is. Let's move on to Dungeons and Fractals. We got to keep this show a moving. The main thing there I saw was that they're continuing to focus on fractals as the primary focus for 5-man content. So a lot of those people that were dungeon goers, they're doing fractals. In fact,
Well, and it even says no new dungeons, just raids and fractals for the foreseeable future.
Even have people working on the dungeons to even update them for the current stuff. So if any changes happen in the world, it does not impact they're leaving the dungeons as is. So you won't even really see any changes at all in those dungeons. So it looks like fractals is their dungeons. So just that's what we're gonna have to get used to. I don't really care one way or the other.
But they're
I like
not,
fractals,
though.
but,
I mean,
yeah, they're different. Yeah,
they're great. Don't get me wrong. I like them a lot.
They're great,
but they're not a dungeon. I'm sorry, they're not dungeons.
So they've had an outcry about it. It sounds like they're gonna kind of get around a table at some point and talk about the dungeon situation, which means there's a lot of hope for people in the future. But my prediction is they're already working on the expansion. They've got nobody doing dungeons now. I doubt there's any kind of dungeon in the expansion. Even
I doubt it either.
So you're probably, I'm guessing, over a year, maybe even 2 years away from seeing a dungeon in the game again. So enjoy fractals, get your fractal rewards, get some hot fractal action going, and just suck it up.
We still need to go back and do all of those explorable dungeons. We haven't done almost any of those. So for us, at least, we still have a lot of dungeon content that we haven't delved into.
The problem, Tess, is this, and I agree with you 100%. I want to check out all those explorable dungeons. The problem is there's no incentive for other players to do it with us.
Well, they're saying that they're going to take another look at the dungeon rewards. So that is a fix.
They did severely nerf them, in the transition HOTS. And maybe tying some type of currency to running dungeons where you could work towards your back piece. I don't know. I know that's a fractal thing, but something similar to that. If they could develop a motivation for existing players who have run them to run with newer players, that would be great.
I think
it even says that they're going to take a look at the rewards. So I think that'll help.
Your new dungeon currency should be called Valor.
Oh God.
There we go, Valor.
Valor.
Lord Valor.
They're doing a bunch of other stuff, by the way. You're going to want to run through the notes. There's like some instability things they're working on. There's some they're working on some different random fractal stuff. There's an increased ascended drop rate, which I think everybody's already saying is pretty decent right now.
Yeah, it is good.
There's a whole bunch of different things they're kind of doing, and they're working on more of them. So there will be more fractals, and there's already quite a few. So there's going to be a lot of that stuff to do, and I think that's really positive. There's a lot of new content here. They're just not going to do those 5-man dungeons, and I'll be honest, it could be because they determined that people didn't play those 5-man dungeons as much. Like, there might be data that supports this, and they might be hearing different on different things, but there could be they might have some good information leading them to this conclusion. It might not just be, all that. All right, raids. Let's talk about raids. The first thing I noticed is that they're saying they're working on smaller. Well,
they have more people working on Living World stuff than they do on raids.
Thank you. There
you go.
And that was important because Militus just kind of made the point, right? Because if I don't get Living World, I'm going to lose my
only
mind.
A certain percentage of the population raids. Most of the population enjoys Living World story
and all the other stuff. Yeah, that goes along with that. Correct. So they got 5 to 6 people working on it full time for 4 months. That's kind of how they've done it, which, when you're talking about 120 people, that's not so bad.
Unfortunately, the one that stuck out to me was no plans for a 5-man version of the raid or an easier mode.
Yeah.
No.
We're working on solutions for finding raid groups, such as adding raids to the looking for group tool.
I still wish, I know that maybe they're not going to go 5-man. I wish it was scalable. I'm sorry.
People are telling me it's not that hard, though, and I'm seeing some things happen, and as we made progress, and I'm sort of going, and I don't think the bosses get too much hard. I mean, the mechanics can get hard, but I don't think it gets, I don't know, maybe it's okay. Maybe the current difficulty is okay. People finish the raid. Like, I was worried when I got into it first that we had another WildStar situation on our hand where it was like, come raid our raid, you can't do it. And that was going to be...
It's not that bad.
It's not like that. It is possible to do it, but it is one level and it's hardcore. And you have to be that level. It's not mythic, like WoW Raiders have. It's like below that, but it's hard. And so... I'm not so sure that I'd mind it. I did it first. I got to say it. And if we wouldn't have made any kind of progress this week, I would have been like, pfft. But we are. And so, yeah, I'm kind of excited. We've got some world changes, and I don't play Worldview.
No, let's just skip through that.
I don't have anything really to say about it, except they're doing stuff with it, and everybody's up in arms about it. If I wanted to say one thing about Worldview World, it'd be this. We've got this great guild going, and in this great guild, we have people from all different worlds that are in it, and we need to be able to play together, because if we could get all of our raid team together, or all of our guild on a night, and we could go run Worldview World as a team, we would have a blast. And I don't know, that's got to be kind of super complex for them to be able to do, but it'd be cool if they could just drop the server, have 3 different colored teams, and drop people on teams that need help, and just kind of keep it mediated. That would be awesome. And to me, I would be all of a sudden on board with playing Worldview World. My problem is I can't play with you guys, and if I can't play Worldview World with you guys, I don't even care about it. So,
and here's the issue. People don't have realm identity anymore.
No.
That's so 2002. You know what I mean? It's just, it's an antiquated system. I just don't think it exists like it used to. I mean, when I played back in the day, I'm like, I play Drendon, PvE, I play Alliance on that server, and people, and I knew people on my server. And that just isn't the case in WoW anymore. It's not the case in Guild Wars 2. It's not the case in WildStar. It's not the case in most games. People play with identity of community, not identity of server. So I would just plead with ArenaNet to kind of move with the times and allow us to fuel our communities and not really worry about servers. Maybe go to the mega server route if possible. That's my thought.
Well, that leads us into PvP, just regular old PvP. And again, I feel like the most information we've been getting in the news lately has been about PvP. So I don't think we really need to cover this too much, because we get a regular dose of PvP all the time, because it is really something they've been pushing. The one thing that stuck out to me though was they don't have plans for 1v1 or 2v2 or anything larger than 5v5, which kind of makes sense. They don't need to do that. Although Blade and Soul, this other game that has been released, they have 1v1, and we've talked a lot about the problems of watching PvP as an esport and how crazy and hectic it can kind of get. 1v1 fixed that. So when I watched 1v1 Blade and Soul, I all of a sudden was like, oh, I kind of know what's going on, and it was like watching 2 boxers or MMA fighters go at it, and I sort of had an idea what was going on, and it wasn't all crazy, and they can have more of a fixed camera angle because it's like in an arena, and you get to kind of watch it. And I was like, that might be a good way of going for competitive play. I don't know that it makes it super awesome. Blade and Soul fits that model better because it's got that kind of that kung fu karate in the air, flying across the screen, kind of over top stuff. And this game doesn't have that, so I don't know if that would fix it anyway. But that might make MMO PvP relevant. So
if they really want to push the esports, that's something they should consider. They really should consider 1v1 if they want to go that esports route.
Yeah.
I think.
So there you go. You got some of that class balancing and testing. Basically, what I got out of all of this when I read it was they're going to balance and test everything.
Yeah.
They want to continue to do that, and they want to make it as balanced and perfect as possible, which is great because you're going to see the nerf stuff and you're going to see it buffed and you're going to see all that stuff. It's just going to happen over time.
Going back to elite specializations, one thing I think that they really need to do in terms of balancing is there needs to be at least, in my opinion, 2 other viable main healer classes besides Ranger Druids. Like, the Elementalist does an okay job. It used to be like the great healer before HOTS, and now the Ranger is like the healer in HOTS. I think some love needs to be given to the elementalist and at least one other class in terms of an elite specialization that makes them a viable and strong healer. Because we have several tanks. I mean, we have necros that tank.
Yeah, that's so weird to me.
So we need at least two other healing elite specializations, in my opinion, in the coming expansion. And I think you need a balance around that.
I'm okay with a Trinity in the raids. Like, I'm okay with it. I don't know that it's super awesome to be able to have to rely on that when you're in the regular world and do it. But, you know, and maybe it breaks other game systems. You know, I don't really know, but when it comes to rating, I like the Trinity's like made for it. It's just a thing. So, you know, I like where it's at now. I don't mind it. I think it's good. I think
the Trinity works great when you have multiple classes that can fill those 3 roles. But right now, let's be honest, there's really just one class that can fill that healing role, and it's the Ranger.
Yeah. I mean, you occasionally hear the engineer's name come up because of the turret, but
man, I don't know about that. I've healed on an engineer, and it is hard, dude, because you're dropping those little med packs and you have a much better tool set,
for sure.
With the Druid for sure.
Well, they've got some technical features. They kind of mentioned they're still working on doing some extended community kind of stuff. But they're not going to do, I guess there was a blog post that was out a while ago and they promised some things and they're like, nope, we're not doing it. So they kind of overpromised and they're going to definitely underdeliver on that. So that's good. They've got some bug tracker stuff. There's no plans for the DirectX 12 update, which is, that's a little bit of a bummer because
it's a total bummer.
The DirectX 12 could make the game run really slick. But it must be a process. Obviously, Microsoft made it hard because everybody would do it if it was just easy.
I think that's their motto, honestly.
But they did.
Let's make stuff hard.
They are spending time on the Mac version. So there is a beta Mac version, but they're getting it to run in Mac's native languages, which is going to really increase the Mac experience. And I've always told game developers, man, there's a lot of Macs out there right now. I mean, you work in the college sector, Terry. You probably see MacBooks running around everywhere. I mean, it's
8 out of 10. Boom.
8 out of 10, right?
8 out of 10 college students carry Macs instead of.
There is just Macs everywhere, and I've always said if you're not making a game for Mac, it's kind of silly. And people sit there and go, they look at some ridiculous stat that says, you know, all gamers are on PCs. Well, of course they are, because the games are only made for PC.
Right.
I'm like, yeah. And then they say, well, Macs aren't made for gaming. Oh, of course they're not, because nobody has it. There's no games for Mac to have to meet the criteria for to do it. So it's the you know, and Blizzard has done the best job. They just put it out. They tell you we're putting it out on Mac. And so it's good to see that, because I think that's important. And I like to carry a MacBook with me. And when I go out of town, I don't want to carry my big gaming rig. It'd be awesome if I could just pick up, even if the graphics are lower, and just play on the fly and not have to feel like I need other stuff. So there you go.
Well, and the one that I liked from this is they are talking about the mega server / taxi behavior. It's a super big problem. They don't quite know how they're going to tackle it, but at least it's on the radar. Yeah. So that's, I mean, I don't mind that it's a big, I understand it's a huge issue and they need to fix it, but as long as it's on their radar and they're admitting that it's that it's a problem, I like that.
I think they just need to balance out the zones to where when it senses there's only a few people in it, the characters in there just get nerfed to death.
Well, they kind of do that already in terms of that phasing where, you know, you get the little buff if you accept to go to the new phase of that zone.
Yeah, but I need a badass buff.
But they need it on a bigger scale, like by server, rather than...
Well, they even need it to a bigger scale because I can't imagine how small the instanced area must be for you to get that announcement, that option. Right. Because I can't tell you how many times I've been running stuff trying to do the meta, and I look around and there's a chunk of people, for example, in Auric Basin, there's only enough people to hit one of the gates.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
is there like 4 or 6?
there's
of those
4.
gates?
There's 4 gates, and there's only enough people to hit 4 of the gates, or one of the gates. I'm sorry, but that's not going to give you the option to go to a bigger server. You're just screwed.
Yeah.
You know, so I like the fact that they're at least looking at it. I hope that they fix that. That's my number one issue. It isn't my number one issue with HOTS is not the fact that it's all group Zerg content. My number one issue with HOTS is that now 6 months into the game, oh, do we lose Milla?
We might have lost Milla.
We lost Milla. He's coming back
We'll
though.
get him back in just a second. I don't
But
know why
my big issue is that one group, when you do get into a group, you don't have enough to complete the meta.
Right.
So
right. Well, and I don't know why it's ringing this way. It's kind of interesting. Oh, it's just saying he's. Oh, now we got all sorts of things going on. We have like serious technical issues going on. Well, let me see if I can get everybody back here. Remember,
I'm
we
here.
go live. Okay, you're here. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Now I don't have your picture. It's all crazy. It's all breaking down. Militus is just gone. There you go. I can still
we're all
see it.
broken.
All right, it's trying to fix Militus. And it could be I don't know. I've been having some slow internet. Let's talk real quick about some of the fluff stuff. There's some fluff things that they added to the end of this, and first of all, Colin's leaving, right? So we know that. And they mentioned that game directors, what they do is they coordinate everything. They set the long-term direction. They kind of anchor the teams. They make sure everything's kind of going. And that's what he did. The new guy that's taken over is not going to, he's not going to do it forever. So there is going to be a new guy coming in, because that's not his role to do it forever. So we will expect to see some sort of, something coming there. In the meanwhile, he's going to be kind of running things, which makes me think everything's probably going to stay kind of going as it was, if that makes sense. I don't think there's going to be a significant change in how anything's done for the next little bit. There is a cool note here. There's an official fashion contest they were talking about doing. They said it's a nice idea. It obviously is very, very complicated to make it work. But I think I could get in on this.
You could.
I have.
You could also turn on your camera. That's the other thing you could do.
I have some fashion ideas. Sorry, I was just trying to get Militus back, and that happened. I apologize. The other thing they had was they had a big group of people working on this stuff at launch, but they've thinned it out, which makes sense. That's kind of like the normal thing. And there was a little, since it's a music theme thing, they mentioned in there that the hardest part of writing any music for the game is making sure it matches the intent of the rest of the team, which that makes logical sense. So there's room to grow and expand, and so they're going to keep working. And Jeremy Soule has been working on that music. They're going to keep him kind of going. So that, by the way, is pretty much all of the information summed up, with missing lots of parts.
Good job, Boom. Good job.
You're going to catch it on other shows, by the way, some of that other content. And we're so glad to have Militus back, by the way.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, glad to be back.
Welcome back. So let's do this. Let's do some shout outs and some stuff like that. Let's do some stuff. Not to talk about junk, but let's do some shout outs and junk. and get it done. So Tess, did you have any shout outs this week?
I mean, everybody in chat is awesome. They're my favorites.
They are good.
Thanks Brittle and
so many people showed up.
That was
and
great. Meldia,
especially on a weird night.
Everybody
came. That was good. Yeah, thank you guys very, very much. I had one from the website come in this week. Said, hi, I love your podcast, and I have a great time listening to the great segments. My favorites are the Moments of Noobness and the Militus Broke-Ass segment, which I didn't do this week. So I apologize, because your favorites have not been
back and strong next week.
So that was from Moonbride. It says, thanks for the fun and see you in game. So definitely thank you for that. And then we also had, I just had some in-game people to just mention. Obviously, Don Gatto, he was huge in the raid and he was helping everybody, and he's just really a lot of fun.
And
Seamus,
huge shout out to Greyrook for setting that up.
Yes,
Greyrook, that was awesome.
Greyrook does all, like, he's like really become like the lead guy.
He is.
Seamus,
He's like our de facto guild leader, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. Seamus has come in the last couple days, and he's really been great, and he's helped a lot of people out, and it's awesome. And then Brittle, obviously, and Brittle's even in chat supporting us, and then Meldiastar as well. Thank you guys all for everything that you're doing for the guild and the group. And we're encouraging everybody, come play with us. These are a great group of people. Like, you are missing every minute you don't come and join our guild and come play with us is a moment you'll never get back, because it's that awesome. So there you go. How about any new guild members? Tess, got any new guild members?
Yeah, we have a few. We've got Commander Bacon.
Commander Bacon.
That's fantastic.
That's a great one.
Commander Bacon.
Wadahu.
Wadahu.
Neblig.
Mm-hmm.
We added him in last
Neblig.
And then Moonbird.
Yeah. And then now I think it's Moonbirdie.
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 Oh, man.
Moonbird or Moonbirdie. So there you go.
I butcher everybody's stuff. I apologize. That's not cool. I just butcher it all. Well, that was awesome. Well, did you guys have anything else? That was so much information. I feel exhausted, to be honest.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Did you guys have
I guess I'm very hopeful for some of the changes, and then some of them I'm like a little. So we'll wait and see how some of it turns out.
It's
but
hard
I'm
to be told you're not going to get the things you're hoping for. But there was some cool things, and I think the biggest thing in the HOTS was they were making some. They were at least saying, "Yep, we know it's hard." So that was good. That was good. Well, on that note, guys, unless there's anything else, we are out.
Night, guys.
Night, everybody.